New developments in the ongoing debate over tipped wages in Michigan. Thursday night, the Senate voted to preserve that tipped wage, which could counteract changes that were set to take effect next Friday. News Channel 3's Colin Roos went to restaurants in Grand Rapids to hear why tipping culture could soon be different.
Senate Bill 8 is a change many in Michigan's restaurant industry applaud. It pairs back the state Supreme Court's ruling in July to end the tipped wage, while also giving a boost to servers' minimum pay. But others are unhappy, with some even calling it a betrayal.
On the final passage of Senate Bill 8, there are 20 aye votes, 12 no votes, and 5 excused.
Majority of the members elected and serving having voted, therefore the bill is passed.
The legislation would mean tipped workers would continue to be paid 38% of the hourly minimum wage for the rest of this year, with an increase annually until topping out at 50% in 2031. Meanwhile, the minimum wage would increase to $15 an hour over the next 2 years. The group One Fair Wage had championed the Supreme Court's ruling to make the tipped wage equivalent to the minimum wage and says today is a bad day for Michigan workers.
These so-called Democrats sold out workers across Michigan and gave big business and the Republicans in Lansing a big smooch for Valentine's Day.
Supporters of the tipped wage say ending it would dramatically decrease servers' overall earnings by cutting into tips. But One Fair Wage's senior advisor says there's no evidence of that in other states adopting the policy.
I'm hoping people take a moment over the weekend and come back and not cheat workers out of a better paycheck.
The Michigan Restaurant and Lodging Association represents thousands of restaurants and in a statement calls the bill's passage a, quote, significant victory for the industry. But not every restaurant will be affected the same if it becomes law. House Rules Game Bar in Grand Rapids says it already pays its servers the full minimum wage and has done so since opening 4 years ago. Co-owner Brian Boucher says he will keep up with it no matter how much it increases.
If it becomes 12 or whatever it is, we're going to make sure that the absolute bare minimum for a tip employee will be that wage.
In addition to SB 8, lawmakers are still debating changes to the state's sick time rules, something he says is welcome. He believes paid sick time should be universal statewide and offers it to his employees in addition to paid time off and health insurance. Boucher previously owned a business in Massachusetts and points to that state's mandatory sick time rules as a model for Michigan.
I'd rather just make sure that everyone who's earning tips or is a server just make a living wage off of it without any issue.
Senate Bill 8 will now head to the House and, if approved there, to Governor Gretchen Whitmer's desk to be signed into law. In Grand Rapids, I'm Colin Roos.